Second is connectivity. Do we connect emotionally to the diverse workforce as an organization? And yes, we need to connect with them emotionally. I have seen my 17 years in the organization in Siemens, I managed career right from the entry-level people to the top executives in the organization. I do the coaching for them. And I experienced that sometimes you need to really, what is important is that to have emotional connect with the talent. Ask him what exactly he wants to do in his life, yeah? Where he wants to grow in the organization. And if you trust me, if you do this, eventually you will have a workforce which is much diverse because they grow in their own area where they are passionate about, and you will have a workforce which is at the apex level quite a diverse with people with different experiences growing and coming together at one point in time, rather than people growing in one chimney and meeting in apex. Yeah? But this emotional connect is important. Unless you have that, people will not grow from various streams and meet the top or the pinnacle of the organization. And the third one is communication. I always believe this is the most important aspect. If you do a good work composition, a diverse workforce composition, if you do a good job in even emotional connect to people, but if you don't do the right communication, all the efforts are completely wasted. Yeah? Because today we need to really communicate to management, people down the line, that look, we have this subject called diversity, we need to implement it in organization which has X, Y, Z benefits, and so on and so forth. We need to really have this communication coming from the top, from the organization. And we have done that. There are mails going from the group, there are mails coming from Germany, and we are communicating initiatives. We have monthly webcasts, we have monthly newsletters, and so on and so forth. So we do that to really create an awareness in the organization on the whole subject. If we don't create the awareness, large population, the subject will not have buy-in from people, and subject will not have ownership in an organization. So we need to really communicate, and communicate passionately, communicate strongly. Yeah. What we have in Siemens India, of course, we have 10 values. Dr. Brook has launched 10 values for Siemens India. And one of the 10 values is diversity. Yeah? That shows the importance of subject coming from the top. I own this value for the South Asia cluster. That's why I'm sitting here, standing here, and speaking to you. So, awareness is important. One, in the awareness, you also have to sensitize your managers for the subject, and more your male managers. Nothing against my male guys sitting here, but have to sensitize your male population on the gender diversity. Unless you sensitize them, there won't be a buy-in from these people. Yeah? A simple solution could be, yeah, how do we increase the ratio of gender diversity? Increase or hire female talent, place female talent on the key positions, have some targets to the managers. Next year, buddy, I want to see at least one female in your department to hold a key position. 5% female population, 5% top talent of female. Would this work? Because the moment you have a quota system, the whole spirit of diversity will go down. You should not have that. But I need to sensitize your manager that, look, if you're hiring someone externally for a key position, if you're placing someone internally for your key position, and you have 5 CVs who are of male candidates, hunt for 6 CVs, either internally or externally, of a female talent who is equally competent, who is equally experienced of these 5 CVs, and hunt for this. And I'm sure to get them. India is a large country to get them. Yeah? But this thinking has to change in the managers. These people have to sensitized, look, if I have 5 CVs, I can hunt for one more with a female talent. And this has to be a part of your communication strategy. It won't work today, it won't work tomorrow, it won't work next month, it won't work 1 year, but somewhere it will work in 2 to 5 years. And that's an organization benefit you get if it works. Yeah? We also look at the diversity composition of our different population. We always have questions from a global CEO, Mr. Gosher. He always asks us, do we have a diverse workflows? I want to see the diversity in the organization. We, Dr. Brook, always have an argument to our global CEO. Look, India is a diverse country. And placements in India also is a diverse in nature. For example, if I place a person from South region who is hardcore from South India in the sales department, and I place him into eastern part of the country, it's a diversity for him because he is a new language for him in the eastern part of the country, new set of customers, demanding nature of the job. It's a diversity. When I move people across the country, it's a diversity itself, and we do have that component in the organization. So this is the element which we actually have an advantage in India, and we should leverage the advantage in an organizational or a corporate life, so to say. Yeah. The last component is what is upcoming now in the corporate world is Gen Y. Have you heard of this Gen Y? Yes. It's called young generation. It's really a diversity, an important component of the diversity. As you know, India is growing big. The average age of India is going down. We can even beat, as per the McKinsey survey and our Indian annual report, we can even beat China in 2020 in terms of average age in India. We will be much below age of 35. China will be age of 38. So which means we have a huge young chunk of young population passing out of the colleges and joining the organization. The youth workforce. And it's a diverse workforce. Why? Because the way I handle my old generation, so-called old generation population in the organization, the way my processes are tuned to retain them, to motivate them, to engage them, it won't work with those young buddies. Yeah? We need to have different set of policies, different set of practices, different set of processes to keep this young generation motivated. I had to wait for 15, 20 years to get the position, designation. Ask the joining new hire, or fresh hire from the college, he wants everything yesterday. Yeah? He is not waiting for you in an organization to give him promotion for 4 years, 5 years. He said, buddy, I don't care your 4 or 5 years processes. I want growth in the organization, I want to grow faster than ever because of competitiveness, right? And this is how the expectations of this young generation are very different. And trust me, you handle them, you will realize it's a different ball game to handle these bodies together. And we do that in Siemens also. We are growing young in terms of age. One of our biggest sector called energy the large volume sector vertical, average age of this sector is 29, which means we are growing, we are becoming young in the organization, which means the implications of this are A, to tune your policies to take care of this vast population. Second, to really keep them motivated, engage them in the organization. And we have done that. What we do, we handle this population in Siemens much separately. With this population, we have initiatives like interactions with Dr. Brook, the management members, we have some projects together, we form the cross-functional team on the project, we get these guys on the projects to work together, so on and so forth. So we keep these guys somehow engaged. Yeah? One. Second thing, we also do a lot in terms of how do we really retain these people so as to grow them in a long term in the organization, and we handle their career much little separately than the career of the other generation people, and somehow keep these guys motivated. I thought maybe if you have some questions, you can ask us, me and him here, or also here, so that would make sense instead of only one-way communication. And last but not the least, which I want to focus on is that on the female or gender, I can focus on gender diversity because that's the most important component in the organization. We have launched a couple of policies in the last couple of months to really support the female talent in the organization. We have launched a policy on extended maternity leave. So a female who is on the family way, more than normally, as per the law, it's 180 days, but we have extended that to 3-4 months again. So a female can opt for extended maternity leave when she's on family way. We also have launched paternity leave. Father also is most important component in the family, and for a newborn baby, even father can take a leave to take care of his wife and also to take care of his child, and so on and so forth. So we have launched, with the support from the management, all these policies. Some are on the way, work from home, and this will be on the way. So these are the initiatives which we have launched to keep the workforce motivated. So these are the things, this is the context, and I'm not saying we are there where we want to be, but we will be there with this kind of passion we have and the push we have for the subject. Lighter side, one of the questions we are being asked from Germany, or do we have an issue if you make a female a department head and the males reporting to her? Do you have this issue in the country? Trust me, this is a very important question to be asked and to be answered. Yeah? And by and large, we have to sensitize our managers, be it male or be it female. The person is competent to handle the job. We have placed the individual based on her capabilities. We have placed the individual based on experience back she has, and she is the right person to head the department, whatever you may think, and you have got to accept that person. And that has to be the kind of a culture in the organization. Because diversity is not a process, diversity is not an initiative, diversity is a culture in the organization to be built in the manager's mindset. And that's why I said the results will be not only 1 day or 2 days or 1 year, the results will be 6 to 7 years to 10 years you have this sensitization done. I happen to be Tata Motors, and Tata is one of the best examples I can think of how they really push the whole subject, how they sensitize the organization, and they have like initiatives like second career for females, those females who go on a family way, leave the company, and they can come back to. So these are the examples in Indian corporate we have, and we should learn from these corporates.